Welcome to Paris, Pia in Paris. Paris is the capital and most populous city in France. Paris is one of the most romantic cities in Europe and one of the most visited cities in the world. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, it's me Piadina. Today, I will be sharing with you Pia's travel in France in 2015. Since I got a 22 days valid Schengen visa, after my trip in Italy, I headed to France. My main destination is Paris, to see the famous Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame, Palace de Louvre, Arc de Triomphe, Seine River, and a lot more. Paris is a beautiful and cultural city with great sights, which is very walkable to tour around. While in Paris, I visited Sacre-Coeur, or the Basilica of the Sacred Heart of Paris. It is commonly known as the Sacre-Coeur Basilica. It is a Catholic church and a minor basilica dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus in Paris, France, a popular landmark and the second most visited monument in Paris. The basilica stands at the summit of the Montmartre hill, the highest point in the city. I also visited Notre Dame de Paris, or Our Lady of Paris, referred to simply as Notre Dame. It is a medieval Catholic cathedral. The cathedral was consecrated to the Virgin Mary and considered to be one of the finest examples of French Gothic architecture. I also saw the Seine River. Seine River is the mother river of the Paris. It is also the symbol of the French Romantic. The river Seine flows right through the heart of Paris. You can take a boat ride down the river Seine and glide through some of the most romantic and beautiful sights in Paris. Visiting Paris is not complete without visiting the Louvre, or the Louvre Museum. It is the world's largest art museum and a historic monument in Paris, France. A central landmark of the city, it is located on the right bank of the Seine. In 2019, the Louvre received 9.6 million visitors, making it the most visited museum in the world. I also visited the Pont des Arts, the famous love lock bridge in Paris. Visitors of the bridge attach personalized padlocks to its railing and throw the keys away in the Seine River. Despite the government of Paris removing many of the locks in 2015, over 1 million more have been placed on the bridge since then. I also walk around of the famous Champs-Élysées Avenue. It is an iconic street of Paris, famed for its stylish restaurants and cafes, luxury boutiques, and big brand stores and theaters. Eiffel Tower is a wrought iron lattice tower on the Champs de Mars in Paris. It is named after the engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose company designed and built the tower. More than 250 million visited the tower since it was completed in 1889. In 2015, there were 6.9 million visitors. The tower is the most visited paid monument in the world. An average of 25,000 people ascend the tower every day, which can result in long queues. Fresh from Italy, I headed straight to France. Paris literally made my heart skip a beat. The Eiffel Tower stands at 324 meters tall, including the antenna at the top. It was the world's tallest structure until the Chichester Building was built in New York in 1930. The tower was built to sway slightly in the wind, but the sun affects the tower more. As the sun-facing side of the tower heats up, the top moves as much as 7 inches or 18 centimeters away from the sun. The sun also causes the tower to grow about 6 inches. Amazing, isn't it? The Eiffel Tower weighs 10,000 tons. There are 5 billion lights on the Eiffel Tower. The French have a nickname for the tower, La Dame de Fer, or the Iron Lady. Moulin Rouge, or Red Mill, is a cabaret in Paris. Moulin Rouge is best known as the birthplace of the modern form of the can-can dance. Today, the Moulin Rouge is a tourist attraction offering musical dance entertainment for visitors from around the world. The club decors still contains much of the romance of fin de siècle France. Though I didn't went inside, I just took photos outside of the facade. Paris attracts millions of visitors every year. You can also visit the Centre Pompidou and the Musée d'Orsay. Musée d'Orsay is a museum in France, located in Paris on the left bank of the Seine. It is housed in the former Gare d'Orsay, a Beaux Arts railway station built between 1898 and 1900. Since I was already in Paris, I can't help but buy macarons at the famous La Durée, Paris Champs-Élysées. La Durée is a French luxury bakery and sweets maker house created in 1862. It is one of the world's best-known premier sellers of the double-decker macaron, 15,000 of which are sold every day. While in Paris, I literally visited the Eiffel Tower every day, from morning, or in the late afternoon, or in the evening, or at night when there are lights. Paris is indeed a great city that can never disappoint you. You can keep visiting Paris again and again, and there's always something fantastic to experience, something to see that you haven't seen before, and eat food you haven't tried yet. Don't go to Paris just for a weekend. Spend more days in Paris so that you can appreciate its beauty. Me, enjoying Paris, fresh from Italy, I headed straight to France. Literally, Paris made my heart skip a beat. I was mesmerized to see the Eiffel Tower at night with its lights on. Indeed, memories last forever. No doubt, Paris is a romantic place to visit, but even if you are traveling solo, just like me, it will not hinder you to explore and enjoy the place. Visiting Paris isn't cheap, but it doesn't have to be expensive also. You can always look for a cheaper accommodation and stay in central location. You can take the metro in Paris, which is very easy to use. You can explore Paris by foot, or you can join a free and self-guided walking tours, but beware of pickpockets and common travel scams. Throughout Paris, you will likely come across a variety of scams, especially if you are visiting those touristic areas. Mega shout out to Abigail and Kentaro. Kentaro was my previous student in Dubai. They relocated in France. I am so glad to visit him in France when I visited Paris that year. I explored my day 2 and 3 in Paris with them. France is a safe and welcoming country. However, like everywhere in the world, in big cities, you must always keep your handbag or backpack in front of you to avoid possible pickpockets. Be cautious when someone offering help to you. Some might be trying to rob or scam you. In public spaces, don't leave your belongings unattended, and better keep your bag on your lap or between your feet. Avoid the tourist traps. In visiting Paris or France, you can level up your clothes or dress, but not too fancy. And learn a few words in French, such as merci or bonjour. There are a lot of other museums where you can visit in Paris. Touring around Paris by foot is easy to navigate. You can always stop, take a photos, and continue walking. Gem Paris, with all its beauty, vibe, architecture, sceneries. J'aime Paris. Walking at the Champs-Élysées after buying macarons in Louvre. While in Paris, I availed the day tour in Palace of Versailles. The Palace of Versailles, or Château de Versailles, was the principal royal residence of France from 1682 under Louis XIV until the start of the French Revolution in 1789 under Louis XVI. The palace is now a historical monument and UNESCO World Heritage Site, notable especially for the ceremonial halls of mirrors, the jewel-like royal opera, and the royal apartments for the more intimate royal residences, the Grand Trianon and the Petit Trianon, located within the park, the small rustic cameo created for Maria Antoinette, and the vast gardens of Versailles, with fountains, canals, and geometric flower beds and groves, laid out by André Le Notre. The palace was stripped off of all its furnishing after the French Revolutions, but many pieces has been returned and many of the palace rooms have been restored. In 2017, the Palace of Versailles received 7,700,000 visitors, making it the second most visited monument in France region, just behind the Louvre and ahead of the Eiffel Tower. Versailles, which comes from the Latin word versare, meaning to keep turning or turn over and over, an expression used in the medieval times for floodlands, clear lands. Versailles is worth visiting from Paris. You can easily join a day trip from Paris to the gardens and the park of Versailles. It is just 12 miles away from the center of Paris. Indeed, as they said, no visit to Paris would be complete without seeing the Palace of Versailles with your own eyes. Not only you will learn a lot about French history, but also you will see one of the most incredible buildings in the world. You can spend 4 hours at the chateau, 2 hours at the garden, and another 2 hours inside the palace. Just take your time and enjoy the scenery, the view, and the paintings, and all the architectures. The palace is closed on Monday. It is open from Tuesday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The passport ticket, which costs €27 for 1 day or €30 for 2 days, includes the admission to all the palace tours, the grounds, the Trianon Palace, the Maria Antoinette Estates, the musical fountain shows, the musical gardens, and the exhibitions. Lines could be incredibly long, so pre-purchase tickets in advance online. The different areas and grounds that you can visit during your trip are the gardens, the main palace, Trianon State, the Queen's Hamlet. Travel tips for the Palace of Versailles. Get there early. Avoid the weekends. Don't eat at the palace. Don't follow the crowd. Get a guide. Or download an audio guide. Visiting France, a detour from my Italy travel was a good decision. By visiting Paris, I was able to tick off on my bucket list to see the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, the Versailles, and so other places which are not part of my original plan of itinerary. I was so glad to see them all. Paris is truly an amazing city, and even I only traveled there for 4 days and 3 nights, I was able to maximize my travel itinerary day by day. The City of Lights attracts a lot of travelers, from backpackers to family tourists to solo travelers to luxury travelers. It is alluring to everyone. While Paris is as touristy as it gets, it is also a home to more than 2 million Parisians across all economic strata, which means there's always a way to explore Paris that suits your style and budget. You can always save money on transport by taking public transport or metro, by accommodation in hostels or budget hostels, and of course in food. I will surely again visit France after this pandemic. And if you think that my Europe trip ends in France, No, no, no. Watch out for my next vlogs about my Europe trip in Reims, Luxembourg, and Amsterdam. And of course, Germany. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, Pia's Travel in France. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for notification. Like, comment, and share.